So 16:55 is our target time here. That's what the lights are set at. And I think that might be Davis who's saying, oh, I want to run a little bit quicker than that. As the pace, as you can see, well ahead of the Blues at the moment as they start to settle. Fairly big field. That might be Davis leading the way. Goals McSweeney in next position. So Davis leads. Jensen Wheeler next position. And I think that is Goals McSweeney in next. So two of the younger boys from the Williamstown club. Mary in next position too. And I think that might be Barrett sliding in to next slot. You can see the Shepparton uniform sitting there. That's teal blue, sitting about 7th, 8th position at the moment. Aidan Davis, 17:20 is his time, so he's coming in ahead of those lights, Mitch. So a little bit aggressive early from the young boys.
Yeah, which is standard protocol for young athletes out here. They love to get up there and get up the track fast. Jensen Wheeler, one of the best haircuts I've seen at Box Hill in a long, long time, the Mohawk man. Fastest in the field seat time-wise, Tim, 17:13. There was an auction over the back straight. They said, all right, what's the pace? Started at 17, auction down to 16:55. So they weren't messing around, and they're still well ahead of the pace out in front here at the moment. So the big group, it was split up ever so slightly. Now they're starting to bring it back together. So it'll become a group of 7, if my maths is correct, which it might not be, as they make their way down here through this home straight. Broken up into 3 groups evenly, though, which is quite impressive. So 6. So I was 1 off. So this group of 6 out in front. The tail of it here is Whelan. He's tasked with the job to stay on it. The task with the job to get it back is Wenlock out in front of this second pack as well, Tim. So they're moving through quite nicely. Second pack is even ahead of the 16:55 pace marker.
Yeah, so a lot of the younger ones out front at the moment, really setting that pace. I think they might be just easing off a little bit as you see the lights starting to catch up to them now. So Roger Whelan made a good move to get on there, attached to the other young men. Mary's just in front of him. As you said, Wenlock in next position, Barrett to the inside of him. And now we're seeing Wheeler just getting a little bit toey, and he's gone ahead of those lights. Now, Tommy Roach was saying, Mitch, he believed that you've probably got a Mohawk under that hat this evening. So, Roachy getting a little bit ahead of himself, maybe? We might do the big reveal a bit later. Has Mitch Dyer gone the Mohawk?
I've had worse haircuts, that's for sure, and I'll have worse again. The Mohawk looks great out in front, though. If I could run as fast as this, maybe I will shave a Mohawk into my head. I'd probably be just about due. The man from Williamstown makes much better of it than what I ever could with this head of mine. So Jensen Wheeler out in front, Tim. We'll leave the Mohawk to him. He's just put his foot on the gas and moved right around. So in front of the blue marker means they're well and truly in front of 16:55. Aidan Davis takes the back seat now. Thomas Ryan just moves around the group of 6. They started to get into it, Tim. They brought them back. As I said, Rodri at the back there, and Wenlock was tasked with the job to move into it. They've just started to separate again, so a little bit of cat and mouse here in the early stages of this 5,000.
So just seeing Sam Ong come through. And not far behind them, Thomas Mbo and also Nick Parkinson. But no change out front, as Wenlock's still leading that chase pack, and the separation there about 15 metres. So interesting to see Ryan from Shepparton. He's been running quite wide most of the way. He'll probably need to tuck in and get on the rails and just get behind Davis there, but he decides to go alongside Davis, and he's starting to chase Wheeler. Davis says, I'm not letting you through, buddy, and he just starts to surge forward, gets onto the shoulder there of Wheeler. So Wheeler, Davis, Ryan in next position, Goals McSweeney, Mary, and then we've had a launch through there, someone joining the party out there. Mitch, you'll have to try and spot who that is.
Yeah, I'm up the track, Tim. I'm desperate to find out. Made a move from the middle of the second pack as well, so to be able to threaten here. I'm going to try and jog alongside of them for as long as I possibly can. Sam Arnold, I believe that might be. It is. So Sam Arnold, according to the hip number, he's the one who's going to join this front pack. Moved from pretty much the back of this second pack, it must be said. So he found his spurt of energy, saw his moment, and seized his opportunity. He's just going to sit right on the back of it, exactly where you want to be in the early stages of the 5,000 metres. Not thinking, not having to use too much energy, and puts himself in a position to be able to move if it came.
Now, interestingly, the chase pack is sitting right on that 16.55, so I think there's a few smart players in that group, Mitch, because they are just strategising this. They know there's a lot of young blood out front, and they're well ahead of the 16.55 schedule, with none of them, I think, being sub-17 runners. So this is going to be interesting to see what plays out over that final stage. We're into the second kilometre now. And let's see the likes. You've got the likes of Teal and also Goulis. You know, Jimmy Goulis, one of their most experienced runners out there in the Melbourne University strip, and he's moving beautifully. But it is Wenlock who's just doing the pace setting for that group, and I think he's doing a wonderful job out there.
Is it the Sammy Wenlock show out here this evening, Tim? You've said he's bided his time to perfection. They're on 16.55, just off it. So maybe we could see a flyer from that second pack. Front pack, though, moving quite nicely. He's back out in front, our young man here from Essendon. So he's taken over from the Flying Mohawk. Aidan Davis it is up the track. Moving through now, Rodri Whelan takes himself from the back of this pack now. Starts to get on that inside. AJ out in front there as well. Wenlock still leading him through. Just dipping slightly off the 16.55, Tim. So out to that 17-minute marker now.
Yeah, but I think that group will probably stick together quite nicely. So Barrett's just sitting off the rear of that chase pack at the moment. No change out front though. Mary moving into third position. I thought Gols McSweeney wanted to make a little bit of a move. Wheeler's hanging in beautifully right now. So Rodri Whelan really has thought this one out nicely. He's sitting himself in that fifth position there with Ryan just off the back of him. If anything, I think the chase pack, now Teal looks like he's made a move through in the South Melbourne colours. And they've gone through the 2 kilometre mark now, so sub 7 minutes for all of that group. As we're approaching the 7-minute mark now, and Ong will be right on that, which is a 17.30 pace, just under. So Petrie actually through right on 7. So as we see the blue lights coming around, and as the sun starts to go down here, those lights become more and more evident. As we see the group now, we've had the change out front, and it's your young man there, Mitch.
Yeah, it sure is. Jensen Wheeler, he was the one who opted for 16.55 as well, Tim, it must be said. So they gave him the responsibility of the pace, and he's leading a big group out in front of it at the moment. So Wenlock goes back a little bit. Borland now tasked with the job to try and get him up the track. So we've had one mover. He wants to get a part of it because, as I've said it before, you get to that 3K marker, Tim, that's the pain cave. And they want to try and be as far ahead of their personal best, as far ahead of their desired times as possible before you just enter into a kilometre that can't be described unless you felt it. And this group out in front, moving along nicely to do just that. So up the back straight, Tim. Beautiful night. Wind's dying down. Sun's gone. It's about to get fast out here at Box Hill.
Yeah, so the front group's still going along nicely. Just they have dropped Ryan though, and Ryan now starting to come right back through the pack as Borland goes past him. So now we've had another change of lead. I'm not sure if they're planning this, Mitch, or not, but it has been good to see both Davis and Wheeler change the lead. Mary's just been sitting in that third position for quite a while. Gols McSweeney in next slot. And then we have Whelan in the Diamond Valley colours. So Davis has been quite brave, hasn't he, Mitch? This is quite impressive from Aidan Davis. He's not been afraid to lead. He's probably done the bulk of it out there. We'll see if Mary wants to make a little bit of a move forward because he's now on the shoulder of Whelan and they don't want to let Davis too far ahead. Borland's trying to bridge his way through, now making a big move is McWeeny. He's with Wenlock. Goulis has gone next, past Ryan, then Teal, Barrett in next slot, and then Petrie. Sorry, Ong in next. Hornet next, and then Petrie.
Yeah, you're right. He is doing it a very hard way, Aidan Davis. Very, very commendable to be able to move through the front of the pack, be at the front, be second, be third, and now he finds himself back in front. Probably one of the smartest tacticians in this front pack at the moment has been AJ Merry. He sat in that third spot, sense a little bit of danger there from Wheeler and Davis. Now puts himself in second and will try and chase or latch on to Davis because it seems as though he's going to try and crank up the gears, try and make it a little bit faster, a little bit harder to hold on to the back of him and hope that that's enough over the latter stages of this race to be in front. But AJ Merry is starting to move away from Wheeler ever so slightly. Gols McSweeney as well. sitting there just behind the two men from Williamstown. It's also Rodri Whelan looking on the back shoulder of Goals McSweeney, and he's been very familiar with the back right-hand shoulder of that man out in front, it must be said. But here we go now. Davis back to AJ Merry, back to Wheeler, a little bit further back to Goals McSweeney. Now coming through is Whelan, and the man who boomed from the middle of the second pack is right there as well in Sammy Arnold.
So 10.04 the split there for Davis as he went through the 3 kilometre mark. So Goulis now coming through, 10.18 for Jimmy, Teal, Barrett, Ryan in that order, into the last 2 kilometres now, Mitch, and this is where it really starts to happen. And what we're seeing happening down that back straight is the lead 2 starting to clear away.
So they've sensed a moment of weakness here in the rest of the field, and they're going to try and make the most of their opportunity. So Davis, it is out in front. AJ Merry just needs to try and stay on the back of it. You don't want that invisible elastic band to snap during this 5,000 metres. He's doing a great job to keep himself in the realm of that. Wheel has been brave as well, Tim, it must be said. He's going to lead out now what's become this second pack. Starting to lose slight contact with it is Sam Arnold. Rodri Wheeler in front of him there. Goals McSweeney in the middle of those two. But out in front, it's grown out to 20-odd metres for these two. So it looks like a race in 2 if they can keep this pace. If they can maintain this rhythm, it's going to be hard to chase down the likes of these two out in front. Aidan Davis, he leads from AJ Merry. Both look in control, which is always a scary reality. You don't know which one's going to move first. But AJ Merry, he has been attached at the hip of Davis out in front.
So Davis just did another little stride forward there. He can't shake Merry, but they're certainly starting to put big gaps on the chasers behind. So Wheeler, Goals McSweeney, Whelan, Arnold, Borland in next position. Then I think that's McQueenie in next. Goulis coming through. Teal and Barrett still together. Ryan hanging on bravely. Ong coming through. Then Hornet, Petrie. And locked together still we have Mamone and Parkinson. I think we're seeing a little bit of a break here, Mitch. Davis has just surged forward once again. Merry being asked the question.
He certainly has been, Tim. So Merry, he spotted the greatest amount of distance that he's allowed for Davis out in front. Aidan Davis, that is, of Essendon. You're watching him enter your home straight here. So Aidan Davis out the front of AJ Merry, Wheeler and Goals McSweeney there. They're going to be absolutely looking at one another in about 100 metres time because they're going to come parallel with each other. But out in front, it is still going to be Davis, AJ Merry. Though starts to bridge that gap ever so slightly. It's going to stretch out to 5 metres, 1,200 metres to go as well, it should be said. So here we go now. Wheeler, Goals McSweeney, Whelan, and then a little bit further back, Arnold up the track now to McSweeney. So a lot of McSweens floating around here this night. It's getting very confusing. We're about to see another one enter the track very shortly. But out in front of us, Aidan Davis. He's starting to stretch it again, Tim.
So it's a brilliant action out front, but bear in mind those green lights are on sub-17-minute pace, Mitch. So we're seeing quite a lot of the field as they go now towards the 4-kilometre mark. We're entering the last kilometre, and the leader's well in front of the lights, but we've got a good level of runners sitting right on those 16:55 lights. Can they come in at sub-17? And I think Davis looks like he's got the stranglehold on this race now. I can't see Merry starting to come back at him over that last 2.5 laps.
No, so Aidan Davis out in front. This will be the second most entertaining Davis sporting event I've ever seen since Nick Davis lit up the SCG all those years ago. So Aidan Davis just moves away from AJ Merry now. So it's a race in control of Aidan Davis. He's out in front now, and as you mentioned, he is miles ahead of that 16:55-minute pacing marker. So he's come in here with a 17:20 to his name, and he's about to absolutely obliterate whether it's a season's best, lifetime best, I don't know. But he's about to run his best of something, Tim. And AJ Merry's got some work to do to try and latch onto the back of it. This group coming through now, these are the ones to watch because they're right on 17 minutes.
So Wheeler just ahead of Goals McSweeney, Arnold in next position, then McQueenie, Whelan just starting to feel it now, Borland in next position, then Wenlock. Looking down the track, we've then got Goulis, Teal and Barrett. But down the back straight, gee, Aidan Davis, Mitch, is impressive.
It's very impressive racing, and it's knowing your training and knowing what you're capable of. But Aidan Davis is just getting faster and faster. He is shifting through the gears at the moment. He hasn't found his final one all just yet. So Aidan Davis, He's left the rest of the field behind him. There can be nobody that can touch him if he keeps doing this. The man out in front, Aidan Davis. AJ Merry been brave, well and truly under the 16.55. Grouped through that 200 metre marker, right on 16.55. So Rodri Whelan, he's just fallen outside of the quota of 17 minutes. He'll need a lift here, Tim, if he wants to get there. But Aidan Davis, how fast can he go?
So Aidan's coming down to hit the last lap, and you can see the cones have come out. We want all of our runners finishing in lane 3. All runners finishing in lane 3. Davis through. Merry in next position. He's got a big gap. Seeing a big move here from McWeeny. He's just about to approach the 2 young boys from Williamstown in Wheeler and also Goals McSweeney. And let's see what it's... Oh, McWeeny really picking this up for the last lap and going ahead of those lights. So Wheeler still on the lights, so too McWeeny. Arnold just now starting to drift back, but he could still break the 17-minute mark. Big challenge here for Wheeler.
That pack coming through, Tim, you mentioned beautifully around the 17 minutes, but Aidan Davis, he's got 200 metres to go. 15.50 it was on the clock, so he'll go into the 16.20 somewhere in there, which will be just under a minute ahead of what his seed time is. So either Aidan Davis pulled the wool over everybody's eyes, or he is about to absolutely obliterate his lifetime best. Lane number 3 for Aidan Davis to finish out here. Still hunting down the line, Tim. He'll go under 16.25, right around the marker. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an incredible performance here from the young man, from the 15-year-old. He's going to come down and win it, and he's well under 16.25. That's amazing. 16.23 from Aidan Davis. AJ Merry as well. Hasn't gone under 17 minutes. Another one from Old Scotch. He'll come through and claim it, and this is the pack you want to watch out for here. There's about 3 or 4 of them right now who are under 17, Tim, and I reckon they'll all sneak under.
McWeeny's coming through in next position. Big finish here from Arnold as well. 16.45 on the clock now. So a couple of very happy campers as they see the 16 minutes still ticking over. Wheeler's right, he's under his target time. Goals McSweeney, come on, let's get you through some fun. 16.57, Whelan right on the 17. We'll wait for results sub on that one. Big finish here from Wenlock as well. He'll come through, stopping the clock at 17.06. Borland will be next, about 17.9. Goulas, Jimmy's still going here, but what a great performance for the Melbourne University Club. And Jimmy Goulas, he'll be well under the 17.30 mark here. Josh Teal, Jude Barrett in next position, but Goulas will be 17.24 thereabouts. And then Barrett, the younger legs, just coming through right on 17.30, followed by Teal. Next one through will be Ong. We will need everyone into lane 3 to finish. So 17.42 thereabouts. Then Ryan next, Petrie in next position, Hornet coming through now. And we finally had a bit of separation between Parkinson and also, so next one through will be Nick Parkinson, leaving Thomas Mamone, coming through just on 18.20 to round out the G race in the men's 5,000 metres. Next up, it is the men A 1,000 metres. We will introduce your fields shortly.